Welcome to today's video. I'm actually filming this after finishing my 24 hours of reading and whew, I got through a lot more books than I expected. I'm having a great time. Milks this Minotaur. We are about to hit the 10-hour mark and I'm like, what? How? I love that man. He's the grumpy songwriter who moved to this small town to disappear. That's all I needed. I'm enjoying this one quite a bit. After being away on a trip for a couple of weeks, I was just really craving a good reading week. So this video is me doing exactly that. Basically, I tracked 24 hours of reading time, starting the timer when I read and pausing it whenever I took a break to see how many books I could get through and how many days it would take for me to get through 24 hours. Does this make sense? So I'm not reading for 24 hours straight. I'm reading for 24 total hours. My favorite book I read ended up actually being the last one, so we will be ending this video off on a good note, but I hope you enjoy. It was so much fun. What a good week. Let's figure out what I'm gonna read. I know I want to read Mate, even though it's not October anymore, it's November. So this is what I know I'll be starting off with, but we need other options. This just seems like it has potential, so may read that. Oh. This one I've been meaning to read. Obviously, it's very long, so I don't know, actually I kind of want to read this. So this is an option too. Alchemy of Secrets. This one is a Stephanie Garber book. I'm intrigued. Let's look at my phone want to read list. Face Off is one I've been wanting to read for months, so that's another option. I feel like that one would be pretty fast paced. The Captive Prince, that book seems like the ultimate enemies to lovers. Maybe like a fall one. We'll see what happens. Okay, so these are the options. It's currently like 9 a.m. and I will be starting with Mate. For reference, this is the sequel to Bride. I mean, it's a standalone, but Bride, people love that book so much. To me, it was okay. It wasn't like super memorable in my opinion. Like the only thing I really remember from that book is the whole knot thing. My first encounter with that. So I was taken aback. I enjoyed it. I had a good time and I have a feeling I'll have a pretty good time with this one too. This follows her friend, I'm pretty sure, and I do not remember her friend. She's a human were hybrid. She's gonna get with some powerful werewolf, I'm pretty sure. Oh, they bleed green. I forgot about that. What I love about Ali Hazelwood is she seems like she has so much fun writing. Like, it's easy to understand, but it's so clever. Like, the banter is so good. Cohen is not hitting on me. He's not trying to cha-cha real smooth into my life. Like, that's a crazy sentence for an author to write, but it's just, that's the Ali Hazelwood way. I'm an hour in and I'm on page 74. This is what I needed. This right here is what I needed. God, am I about to use the word aura and fugly in just that amount of space right there? Yeah. I'm currently on chapter 16 and I have to say something. If you've ever seen The Theory of Everything, this quote reminds me of that movie so much, and that movie destroyed me. Her laughter adjusts the spin of his atoms. Okay. This Cohen guy, oh, I can get down with him. I like that the reason that they're not together, I feel like in a lot of books, it never makes sense. It's like, okay, just get together. But in this, if I was her, I would do the same thing. And I'm not gonna say why she is keeping her distance, but yeah. The only thing is that typically I don't read mate romances or anything. I don't like the idea that they kind of have to be together, like they can't not want it. I don't know if this is necessarily my favorite type of romance, but we'll see how like the romance develops more. Maybe it develops a bit more and becomes less surface level. I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of talking negatively about it, but I'm having a great time, so I should probably just shut up. But for now, I want to rearrange the shelves. I'm going to switch to audiobook. Let's see what I can do with this. I don't know. Also, why does he look yassified? Doesn't he look yassified? Is that brain rot language? I don't know.
Whoa.
We're gonna take this and slide it back there and see what happens. It goes with the colors. I don't know. Don't care as long as my alchemized is on display, so we'll finish it another day. No, I won't. I was fully ready to come on here and be like, oh my gosh, you know those scenes where like they take care of each other, like one of the characters gets sick, they're just so romantic. But then it turns sexual. I for sure don't mind it, but I wanted a moment. But I am also living for the fact that she is the one who initiated it and he is the one still just like taking care of her. That's sweet. Currently on page 256. Ah! Ah! Oh my god. This book is wildly predictable. I love it. As Alpha, he has to be celibate, so the tension, holy tamale. Not just that, we have some plot going on, y'all. I am on chapter 31. Also, Cohen is such a fantastic name. Why is that not a thing? I could name my child that. The book is complete. Review incoming tomorrow. For now, I am going to be watching Garrett Watts. I love that man. But anyways, I am shockingly only 6 hours and 18 minutes in, and I already know which book we're reading next. Bro, why is my heart beating?
Check out.
It has been quite some time since the last clip. I went grocery shopping, and I think I've only gotten like 2 hours of reading done since then. But last night, as we saw, I finished Mate. I'm giving it 4 stars. Ali Hazelwood writes an amazing palette cleanser book, which serves its purpose. She is someone who I'll always, whenever I see a book by her come out, I'm always gonna read it. It's not stressful, it's not complicated, there's no overthinking, and the spice in this book actually added to the story. I liked the build up to it because once that ball rolled, it just kept rolling, and it did not stop for days, literally. My favorite part was probably Serena. She's just so charming, and she's so much more relatable than the female main character in Bride, because the female main character in Bride was main character material, chosen one, and Serena was kind of just like the side character. I mean, she moved the plot forward in that book a lot, but like getting like a side character's own book, I love it. Even she's kind of described as, you know, softer, while Misery is willowy and long, and she stands out, and then Serena is just kind of there. I have 8 hours of reading under my belt. 6 hours were spent on Mate. The other 2 hours, I started Snowed In by Catherine Walsh, I think that's her name. A Christmas Romance. I know we are switching seasons. Finally. This one is about Megan, who left her fiance at the altar and moved to Dublin like immediately 5 years ago. And present day, she runs into the male lead, Christian, which is kind of weird because that's my brother's name, but we just gotta keep on moving. And she runs into him at the pub, and they kind of grew up together. They lived in the same town, but she knew of him. She didn't know him really personally. He was kind of the guy every girl had a crush on at school. He's also the person who saw her during her little jailbreak after she left her man at the altar. And at the pub, they get to talking, and ultimately he makes an offer to fake date and takes her a bit, but she accepts, obviously. They both have something to gain out of it. So far, I'm like 40% in, and I love the characters. Like, she knits, and he's so kind. It doesn't go with his background at all. And I have a feeling that's on purpose. Like, they're making him sound like he was kind of, everybody just had this perception of him, and that's not actually how he was, because even they're saying like, oh, he stole a car, but it's like he didn't steal a car. He drove like 10 miles per hour like down the road. And I'm looking forward to find out what happened, like why she left her man at the altar, because we don't know yet. And it caused a scene because they were together for years. I really wish I could read in an accent. They have accents, and I would love to be able to hear their accent, but I just can't do it. This is what we are at so far, 8 hours and 21 minutes. Also, look at this candle I got while I was shopping. I got a can of corn scented candle with a sweet cornbread scent. Why didn't we do this before? A fling, that's what I want. That's what I've wanted since the night I bumped into him. Oh, that's not, no girl. A fling? Have we learned nothing? No. If this was me, I'd be like, oh, this is the man I'm gonna marry. A fling? Meanwhile, right as we get to his POV, he's gonna be like, I'm in love, this is the girl for me. She's like, a fling. How did I miss it? Whatever she wants, I'll give her. I realize that now. How I'll never be able to say no to this person. How I'm completely at her mercy. Yeah. It is almost 7:30. We are about to hit the 10-hour mark, and I'm like, what? What? How? But I'm ready to get back into it. We are gonna hit 12 hours tonight. Maybe. Okay, I'm learning a bit more about his lore, and it's just randomly being dropped, and I guess he was a bit of a menace back in his day. But like in an endearing way. Not like too bad. She said, didn't you put our teacher's house up for sale online? No, you did. Must have been someone else. He was a little dubious. And I'm just finding out about this. So what I said earlier, that's not actually how he was. Disregard. I'm sorry about this angle. I've never had the camera in the car before. I'm about to go into work. I'm so excited. I am going to be listening to an audiobook. I was debating whether or not to count that as reading. And I'm still debating, but either way, I'm going to listen to an audiobook. And that right there will be 4 hours because I work for 4 hours. So I just got out of work and they get rid of books pretty often. Like, honestly, I don't know why. I don't really ask questions. I just am told I can take and I take. First of all, we were getting rid of this arc of Deep Cuts, which I read, and I wouldn't say I necessarily liked it, but I think about it pretty often. I don't know what that says, but it was interesting. Getting rid of this one, which is like a typical summer one. Feels like a very mom book, you know? And a bunch of Cassandra Clare books, which Shadowhunters, and this one. I think I only got like 2 hours of reading in because I was chatting. I kept going up to my supervisor asking for book recommendations because I'm super annoying, and I've been listening to The Ex-Hex, so, and I don't actually like it that much, which is shocking because it's kind of iconic for like the fall season. I guess I should talk about Snowed In, like my final review. I'm giving it a 4. Sometimes I question my ratings because I may give like this very complex book that obviously took a lot of thought like a 3. This book is completely different. It's a Christmas romance book. It served its purpose. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it a 4. It was a bit flawed. You know, the second half kind of had a bit of a lull, but I just liked how this book made me feel. It felt warm, you know? Like it was just smothered in love. Like whether it was the main characters or Christian's siblings, because they all had like a little romance going, and then even Megan's brother, I don't know, I think he had a little romance going on. I don't know though. And even Christian's parents had this cute little meet cute. Everything was just so like, love exists. Megan definitely had more internal depth, and I loved Christian because he loved that Megan had a lot of internal depth. I recommend for a holiday read. You know, it was lighthearted, but had good drama and did exactly what I needed it to, which was make me happy and make me look forward to Christmas. And also there's no third act breakup. Thought I'd mention that because a lot of people don't like third act breakups, so there you go. Personally, I don't mind a third act breakup. Like, I kind of enjoy it sometimes, which I don't know what that says about me, but probably not good things. I finished The Ex-Hex quite some time ago on the Kindle, and I'm gonna count it as reading time, so that brings me to 14 hours and, what is that? I'm at 14 hours and 3 minutes. I think I'm gonna get 5 books done in this video. Holy crap. Okay, let's talk about I think I have cat hair on me. I do, of course. Let's talk about this book. I did not like it, and the more I think about it, the less I like it. I've seen this book on just about every, like, books to read this fall, books to read for Halloween, books to read over autumn list, and I can see why, because the idea of it is good. It just wasn't executed how I would execute it and how I think it should have been executed. But I can see why. It's fun. There's a talking cat who just like constantly asks for treats, and they go on like these fun little adventures to like help to try and break the curse, which I started this book so immediately I didn't tell you what it's about, but it's about Vivian, whose heart was broken when she was 19 by Reese because he was supposed to get married. He was betrothed, and it was kind of a bit of a misunderstanding, and she puts this curse on him. But it was just a joke. Like, she used a candle, but 9 years later, he comes back to town because like there's this town festival going on and he has to handle some stuff that his father sent him to go do. And everything in this book, it was too quick when it needed to slow down, and it was underdeveloped when there needed to be more depth. Like, there was no chemistry between these two, which with how they got together, I would think that there'd be like this explosiveness, and they kind of say there is. But if it's so explosive and they're like the one who got away, why did they not contact each other like ever within these 9 years? That doesn't sit right with me. I want the man to be like the one who got away. She is the one. But he even mentions this one thing whenever he's looking at her office, and he's like, I never even considered what her office would look like. And I'm like, no. Like, I want you to consider every single thing that's happened in her life within the last 9 years. You never consider that. And also, it was like a fling. So I either want it to like develop and be like, oh wow, this is way more than I thought it was. Or be like, I've been thinking about this person every day for the last 9 years, and this is the reason I didn't reach out. You know, for the vibes though, I like it. I like it for the vibes. I like it for a little Halloween read. But for the romance, I would not recommend. I feel like the reason people don't like second chance romances is because of books like this, where it's like, just leave it. Like, just leave it. I don't want to say I don't recommend it, because the idea was fun, you know? I think it was supposed to be like Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town-esque, and it was, but the romance was like, no. And the plot was okay. So, 3-ish. And the next book I am about to start is one my mom found. Shout out to my mom. The Bright Side of Christmas, and it sounds pretty good actually. It is the grumpy songwriter who moved to this small town to disappear. That's all I needed. That's all I needed to read, so that's the one we're about to start. At work, I was listening to Morning Glory Milking Farm. Yeah. I have like 20 minutes left of the audiobook, and I'm gonna have to sit on this. I just got out of the shower, so ignore appearances for the time being, but look what I got. It came in. I'm gonna use it for Vlogmas, because I'm doing Vlogmas for some reason, apparently. Literally nobody cares, nobody asked, but it seems fun. Let's talk about Morning Glory Milking Farm. Is that what it was called? Oh, I'm so excited for the Michael movie. I've been waiting for this for years. Oh my gosh. See, the thing is, I need to meet this book where it's at and review it based on what it is, which is a monster smut romance book. The cover of it? I can't. I'm gonna give this a go, so bear with me. So it starts off with Violet, who she needs money. She's down bad. And after some deliberation, she decides to take a job at a pharmaceutical company, I believe it is, milking minotaurs. After some training, she is super attracted to a client, her first client too. The relationship just, you know, it builds from there after she milks this minotaur. Okay, let me say, the world building, it was pretty good. I really liked it. I feel like it was very cozy, and you know what? I picked this book because, first of all, it was on the 3rd page of like most popular books on Hoopla, and I was thinking it would be very, you know, fall coded. And I would not say it was, but it was cozy and it was wholesome. Kind of. It was wholesome at some points. Just their relationship overall was sweet. And the place was somewhere I'd want to live and I'd want to visit, and I loved the little cafe they went to and all of the different people. I feel like it had a great message overall just about like accepting others and for their differences, as cheesy as it is, but I feel like it was really important. The MMC in this was surprisingly quite appealing. I personally just imagined him as like this 7-foot guy who had horns, which I don't think that's how he looks, but do not burst my bubble. He was super thoughtful, and he was such a gentleman. Like, you could tell this man was, or this minotaur, was written by a woman. He was like perfect. Like, he made it very clear, like, take this at your pace. Like, if you want to be with me, be with me. If you don't, let me know and I will leave you alone. Like, I'm completely okay with whatever you want. This man! And that was during their dating stage, their dating stage was very sweet, actually. Because she was ready, you know? She was like, I've seen things about you, and I know things about you, and I'm ready. And he was like, not yet. I went into this open-minded. And if you read this, you gotta be open-minded. I was uncomfortable for about 80% of this book, to be honest, but it's gonna stick with me forever. Like, I am forever gonna remember this book and the reaction it pulled out of me, because never in my life, I was clutching my pearls. I was in that library having this in my ear, and I was like, nobody here knows what I'm listening to right now. But I'm also somebody who has no shame at all in what I read, so if somebody asked, I would tell them. I don't think anybody should ever have any shame in what they read, but this was one where I was like, what am I reading? Some of it was a little inconsistent. Like, there were some inconsistencies in here where I was like, but if, then why, you know? So I'm gonna give it a 2.5, which probably after all of that rambling, you would think I would give it a higher score. But I was uncomfortable at some points, and that's normal, especially as my first monster romance smut thing. It's like a normal romance, but then there's just like this monster or animal, and it added a little element of absurdity that I kind of like. I don't know. This is something you'd read during like your later follicular phase. It was bizarre. And you know what? The world reminded me of Zootopia, because I saw an ad. I'll play it, because I literally, right as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is exactly it. Literally, that is this book. And the world was kind of giving Zootopia. Like, there was like vampires, werewolves, moths, humans. You know, I just appreciate how the author really went there. Like, no shame. Like, she had this idea, she wrote it down, she published it. I admire that. Moving on, finally. I promise I'm done talking about milking minotaurs. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I continued reading The Bright Side of Christmas, and I'm enjoying this. It got shockingly freaky. I wasn't expecting that. This is such like a stereotypical Hallmarky book because the girl, like, her grandma died and she's trying to honor her legacy and wants everything to be super smooth, and she's just being the yes man for everything. Like, she's trying to fill her grandma's shoes and not disappoint her, and her family is big on Christmas. So she is just doing everything for everybody and not taking care of herself at all. And then this guy comes in, this secretly famous guy that people don't know is famous, and he sees her and he's like, I'm not decorating for Christmas. So she's like, you have to decorate for Christmas. So then they go in like this little war where she's like, she keeps putting decorations up and he keeps taking it down, and he finally starts to give in, and then he kidnaps her nutcracker. I'm currently 50% in, so maybe I'll finish it tonight, maybe I'll finish it tomorrow. I got 4 hours left of reading to do, guys. I don't understand how this is possible. I am 19 hours and 35 minutes in. We'll see what happens with this book. Hopefully it continues being this good because I'm having a good time. Guys, we are on the up. We are on the up. I have not only completed my 24 hours, I have surpassed that. Thank you. It's only 4 p.m. and it's kind of dark out. It's starting to get to me. But that's why we find other things to channel our energy into, mine being reading. So I've been reading all morning, all day, and it especially helps when it's a fun contemporary holiday romance, like The Bright Side of Christmas, which that's actually not the one I'm talking about, but I'll get into that in a second. This book started off strong. I was entertained. I was feeling the chemistry, but then they got together too soon. That being mixed with the fact that there wasn't really any plot or conflict, I got bored and was ready for it to wrap up about 60% in. And I wasn't invested because most of the story just dealt with her being a people pleaser. When I picked this book up, it's just not what I wanted. And if I'm reading about this famous guy in a small town, I want more drama surrounding that. But in this, it was very casual. Like, he could have been a carpenter and it would have been no different because he's not in the limelight much as a famous person. He's kind of just like a songwriter, which is a big thing, but he personally tries not to be, so it wasn't even a thing. And his little family storyline wasn't, I didn't know enough about him still by the end. I do love that they were neighbors though, because I love like a forced proximity aspect to a book, because then like they just can't escape each other. And I love that. Now let's talk about the one that has me in a good mood, which is If It Makes You Happy. I'm enjoying this one quite a bit. And it has reminded me of the single dad trope, which I never read for some reason, but I need to get into it because, man, seeing a guy just fuss over his girls and just being very in tune with their feelings. This book is very Gilmore Girls coded. Like, there's a small town, everybody knows each other, everybody's very involved with each other's business, and it follows Michelle, who is quite standoffish. She is a powerhouse though, I love this woman, and she is recently divorced after finding out her disgrace of a husband was cheating on her. She's in town because she's taking over her mom and dad's bed and breakfast after her mom passed away, and Cliff, who is also divorced, single dad of 2 girls. He's a baker? Okay. And just this fun, very approachable guy. They are polar opposites in theory. Like she comes off very nonchalant, cool, but deep down she definitely overanalyzes things and has big feelings. But especially her ex-husband has just made her feel very small. They form this friendship that of course develops into more. Like, they really see each other and see past one another's facade. And this book has like an actual conflict, which is that the whole issue is that Michelle won't be there long because she's only taking over for a couple of months until her sister, who is ultimately going to be running the B&B, finishes school and comes to take over. I'm eating this up, truly. Like, the characters have their quirks and things that make them really identifiable. Like, our guy Cliff, he gets like a sense of what pastry people would like based on first impressions, and then like as he gets to know them, like he's trying to make her like the perfect pastry and dessert, and he keeps giving her desserts and pastries, and he takes note of her response. She always likes it, but she puts it down, and he's like, he keeps trying to figure out exactly what she would like, and I'm like, bro. And there's likable characters too. And this one, they all have their own little storylines, and it just feels all consuming. Like, I feel like I am in this world. He's more connected and invested. The dog also talks sometimes. Like, he has dialogue, so he's not literally talking, but you get dialogue based on like what he would say, and it's just a fun thing. I love the author's writing. Sometimes I really don't take note of that in contemporary romances. Like, I always think about the writing when I'm reading a fantasy because that's much more complex, but I immediately could tell that this person is a good writer. What's her name? Julie Olivia. Love her. I need to figure out what else she's written. It has the feels of a classic 90s rom-com. There's been a bit of miscommunication, but as we know, I'm a miscommunication stan. But if you're not, I think you would still enjoy this because it's done in a very tasteful way. So far anyways, I'm literally like 65% in, but I really don't think my thoughts will be changing much. And since I've reached the 24 hours, I'm going to end the video here. I'll throw in a little clip of my final rating though, because I don't want to leave you on a cliffhanger. That's kind of shady. But thank you for watching the video, and thank you for inspiring me to finish like 6 books, because I know I'm gonna finish this book today in 5 days. This video was a bit everywhere, but I hope to see you guys next time. I hope to see you during Vlogmas. I don't know who I think I am, but yeah, here's future me. 4.5 stars. Oh, yeah.